Hi everyone, my name's Jack, a radiology trainee in London. If you're thinking about applying for radiology training, then it's essential that you do a taster week. It's not just to get points on your application, although that's good, but it's also to see if the specialty is for you. When I was deciding whether or not to do radiology last year, I wanted to be really sure, so I did 2 taster weeks. And I also recorded some of my thoughts about them at the time. The first taster week was in a large teaching hospital, and the second taster week was in a slightly smaller hospital. So without further ado, here's my experience of my 2 taster weeks. I've just completed my first day of my radiology taster week, and it was great, to be honest. My morning session was in angio, where they perform angiograms and angioplasties. In this case, we had 2 cases of people who had narrowings of the arteries in their legs. I was with the interventional radiologist. They used contrast to find out where the narrowing was in the arteries, and they were able to deploy a balloon to then open the narrowing of the arteries. And then afterwards, you could see a nice flowing blood vessel. So that's quite satisfying. The other funny thing is that I've obviously just come from surgery, expecting to do a radiology taster week, but I find myself putting on scrubs and a theatre hat, and essentially just being in surgery again. The interventional radiologist was really friendly as well. As soon as I started telling him that I was a surgical trainee, he just started listing off all of his friends that were surgical trainees that then changed to radiology or GP. In the afternoon, I was with the radiologist on hot seat, who reports urgent x-rays, for example, from the GP. I found it quite interesting to read the requests, the little vignettes, and then be able to look at the x-ray and come up with a diagnosis. So overall, a really good first day, and I'm looking forward to day 2 tomorrow. So I've just finished day 2 of my radiology taster week. I spent the morning in MRI reporting with the GI radiologists. That's the gastrointestinal radiologists. What really interested me is that one of the consultants spends half his time doing the diagnostic reporting, and the other half of his time doing endoscopic ultrasound, actually, or liver biopsies. So what was reassuring is that as a radiologist you can do a lot of diagnostic procedures as well as the reporting, so that gives you a lot of variety. So I just finished day 3 of my radiology taster week. In the morning I was sat with the duty radiologist who takes the inpatient and A&E requests for scans and then protocols them, and that was good because I got to see some of the more acute presentations of diseases, for example surgical abdomens, etc. In the afternoon I joined the registrar teaching. It's quite good. There were quite a few registrars, and so it's quite a good social atmosphere, really. And teaching was good as well. There was a consultant there, and they say they had teaching almost every day. And what struck me is that actually quite a few people didn't go straight into radiology from their foundation years. They either did some surgical training or even some medical training before they applied. So I've just finished day 4 of my radiology taster week, and today in the morning I was in the breast unit where I could observe the radiologists looking at mammograms, looking at MRIs, and also performing ultrasound guided core biopsies. Here I found the radiologists were very clinically involved, so they would see patients, they would talk to them, explain the procedures. In the afternoon I joined one of the consultants in CT reporting, and also got to observe 2 drains being put in. One was under ultrasound guidance and one was under CT guidance. Felt like a very procedure-based afternoon. I just finished my 5th and final day of my radiology taster week. It was a really good finish, I think. I started in neuro interventional radiology, where I saw a blood clot being removed from one of someone's arteries in the brain. And then in the afternoon I joined nuclear medicine reporting. Had a nice look through some bone scans and had a good long chat with the consultant about careers and things. One of the funny things he said is that some of the doctors nowadays just finish their first foundation year and then they run off and become a YouTuber or something. Yeah, imagine doing anything like that. But yeah, it was a really good end to the week. I feel really positive about it, and I'm going to apply for radiology. So that first taster week made a great impression on me. I then went on to do my second taster week, just to be sure. I've just completed the first day of my second radiology taster week. I spent the morning both in interventional radiology as well as hot CT reporting, and then in the afternoon I spent some time in ultrasound. I found that a lot of the radiologists Definitely thought radiology was the right choice, including those that had changed from different medical specialties or surgical specialties. Another good part is that I could leave work at a fairly normal time, so about 5-ish. So today is the second day of my radiology taster week. I forgot to film earlier, so I'm already in my pyjamas now. The day started in colorectal MDT, that's the multidisciplinary team meeting. In this meeting I could see how the opinion of the radiologist was really appreciated, as what you say about a scan can determine whether somebody goes for surgery or not. Also, when I was with one of the trainees, they were saying that actually radiology is quite a social specialty, even though the stereotype is that you're sat in a dark room alone. And I think this is probably true, because often you have radiologists reporting in a room together on separate computers, so if they want to discuss something, they can just ask the person next to them. And also you have a lot of specialties coming over to discuss scans and things. So the outcome today is that radiology is not just sitting in a room alone all the time. So today was day 3 of my taster week, and in the morning I was in a paediatric fluoroscopy list, which is where you do things like barium swallow tests in children. Afterwards I attended a couple of more MDTs. One of them was a paediatric one, which was really interesting because the paediatric team brought some cases over and we discussed them with the imaging, and it was overall quite a good learning opportunity. In the afternoon I spent some time with the radiographers. From that I really could see how busy it was, especially on the X-ray and the CT side, and generally it was good as a way to get a feel for the department as a whole. On day 4 and 5, I spent my time partly in different MDTs, as well as in fluoroscopy, and joining the trainees in some of their teaching, as well as reporting scans. I also like how many trainees there usually are in each hospital, as it really is quite a social environment. All the trainees know each other, and all the consultants and trainees seem to get along as well. And of course it's also really good to finish at 5 o'clock. So you can see how much those taster weeks really helped my decision making. If you're still thinking of radiology, don't wait around. Find your radiology department, go down, introduce yourself, find out who the training program director is, send them an email or speak to them, and ask for a taster week. Organising them is really that simple. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next time.